All right. You are now a co-host with our judge. The judge, you're now a co-host. You can unmute yourself, please.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Uh,
uncle.
oh, the traffic was mad. I hope I'm audible.
Very well. Please go ahead.
Okay, very, today's topic is very, very important, uh, especially for those that are joining us. Okay, so today's topic is about how you are going to start immediately after your activation, because so many persons will tell me, how can I start a trade? Though we have plenty Zoom, we have organized plenty Zoom on how you can start a trade. Okay, so first things first, I will share my screen. I'm going to share my screen so can you see my screen?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so let's go. This is the home page. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, leader
Okay,
judge.
so first, okay, uh, have to add, click on you can see where they go sports features, and you can see the plus there. You click on the plus, then you click on sports, then you click on all. Look at all below. You click on all. When you click on all, you click on ads. So I've added everything on my own. So the next thing for you to do is to consider what is your trading capital. What is your trading capital? So when you go to the mine page, you click on this my strategy settings. My strategy settings. So if you are coming to this page for the first time, you are going to see where they wrote ads now. But if this is not your first time, you click on the plus at the top right corner. So this is what RoyalQ is all about. If you cannot set up this page, it means that you are still learning, as in, will I say, if you cannot set up this page, that is what you should focus and learn. Important thing on this page is, number one is the remark. The remark is optional, but the remark is like putting label on these settings. Okay. For instance, you are starting, your trading capital is $100. Okay, so we'll keep $100 trade capital. Trade capital. Okay, so we'll still come back to the remarks, because remarks should have the trading capital and the percentage margin, the total margin it can cover. So we'll still come back to remarks. The first buy-in amount, since your the beauty of using RoyalQ is that RoyalQ will help you make profits in both uptrends and downtrends. So for you to consider the downtrend part, you cannot start a trade with all your $100. If your capital is $100, for example, you don't start with it. You start with 15. You can start with 20. You can start with 11. If your capital is like big, like maybe 1,000, you can start with, you will not consider using 45% or 30% or 15% to start. The beauty is that you should reserve money for what you use to set up margin calls. Okay, so for example, your capital is $100. So I don't know how many percent is $15 from that from $100. So I don't know if anybody can check. What is the percentage of $15 in 100 capital? I don't know if it's 15%. I think it's 15%. Okay. So you can just check if I'm correct. So we are starting with the first buy with 15, but we can still decide to use $20. So what will remain? 100 minus the 15. This 15 now will not be our first buy amount. First buy in amount means the money you want the robot to start the trade with. You want to trade Bitcoin, you want the robot to use $15. You know your capital is in dollars, USDT is in dollars in your exchange. Binance, Coinbase, OB, and Bybit, KuCoin, and the rest. So you're telling the robot that out of this $100 now, use $15 to buy, to start the trade. Convert it to the coin I want to trade for me. Reserve the remaining balance, which is $85. Let $85 be in my exchange as spare. Keep it, because I know that in crypto, coins goes up and it comes down. If it goes up, my robot will give me profit on this $15, which the robot started with. But if the coins start reducing in value, my robot will start buying margin calls. Okay, so the next thing there, I've been able to explain the first buy amount is the money the robot will use to start the trade. That is first buy amount. Okay, so the second thing there is the third thing there is the open position double. Okay, this open position double, remember, your first buy-in amount works with your margin calls. When you want to set your margin calls, they work with the first buy amount. And you might say, okay, I want to use $30 to start this trade, but I want the robot to use $15 to work with my margin calls. So I will now open double. This double means that robots, though my first buy amount is 15, yes, but when you want to start this trade, use ×2 of it. I don't want to put 30 here. I don't want to put 30 here. Because if I put 30, my margin calls will be looking at 30 to calculate for calculations. We'll still get to margin calls. So the purpose of the open position double is to make your robot use ×2 of your first buy-in amount to start the trades. It's just for starting. Okay, so if you know that it's 15 you want to use, is your first buy amount you want to use to start the trade, please always close the open position double. Okay, the risk type, which is the first one I omit, you can just leave it, it has no effect. Okay, so AI margin calls, I've explained AI margin calls. AI margin calls is used if you are to earn it. You have to earn this AI margin calls if you don't have plenty margin calls. If your capital is small that you don't have plenty margin calls, you have to earn the AI margin call. Okay? So now the next one here is the margin call limit. Margin call limit. Okay? So for we to get the margin call limit means, okay, we know that crypto goes up and down. When this coin the robot is trading for you goes down, how many times do you want the robot to buy that coin? How many interval? How many time interval you want the robot to buy that margin calls? Now, the margin call limit depends on the remaining money you have kept aside for margin calls. So for instance, if your margin call, if the money for this example now, $100, which is our capital, minus 15, which is the first buy amount, it will give us 85. Now, The lowest money you can use to buy a margin call is 10.5, 10.2, 10.1, $10, 10.1 and above. That is the lowest money that is advisable to use to buy a margin call. Okay, so we will now do $85, which is the money we want the robot to use to buy our margin calls. We'll do $85 divided by that 10.1. We will get 8.4. Okay, remember the margin call limit only works in whole number, so there is nothing like decimal. It works in whole number. So we can still, since we have 0.4, we can still increase that money that we want the robot to use to be buying the margin from 10.1. Let's try 10.2. So we'll do 85, which is the remaining money. We want to divide it. So it's the way we want to divide it. That is what we are calculating now. So we'll do 85 divided by 10.5. Let's see. So you see, we are getting 8.09. So it's perfect. So we want to set, we are going to set our margin calls so that the robot will use $10.5 for each margin call. So if the coin starts dropping, it will go into, our robot will buy 8 good times. So the margin call limit will be 8. That is 85 divided by 10.5. 10.85 is the money, the total money that is remaining for margin calls. $10.5 is what we want the robot to use to buy each of the 8 margin calls. You understand? So I hope I'm communicating. Okay? So we'll off this AI margin call for now. Then the whole position take profit ratio. Please, we should not be greedy. We said it today. 4 things that kills or delay us in RoyalQ. Four things that delay us in RoyalQ. Number 1 is greed. When you are greedy, take 1% and wait. Market signals, trade, crypto works 24/7. You can decide that you don't want to trade today, you'll be fine. You can trade tomorrow. If you decide that you want to wake up by 4 a.m. in the morning, in the midnight, and you want to trade, you are free to trade. The robot will trade for you. So don't be greedy. Take that 1% and leave the market. Because of you are using 1%, your robot will fastly sell. You will be coming out from trades faster at a faster time. You might see a signal, they say take 3%, but focus. Take your 1% and wait. Signals will come, more signals will come. The power in trading is you going to the market and you coming back in time. You going to the market and you coming back in time. We have seen interval that a signal comes with 3% and the coin reached 2.8% and it now went down to -20 floating loss. Are you following? A signal, they gave 3%. That coin has increased by 2.8% floating profit. But because of you want to take 3%, the coins now drop to -20, meaning that you have to now wait for that coins to increase back. Okay, so for me, I do encourage 1%, but you might say some people trading 1% on $15 is how much? 1% times $15, so you get 0.15. But the joy is, if you are taking 1%, and you do, and your trade sells, you pick another signal, it sells, you pick another signal, it sells, and you're able to do it times 10. You traded 10 coins. Maybe it's not you pack 10 at once, so after this one say you enter another one, after it so you enter another one, after it say you enter another, after it say you are able to do it 10 times in a day. It will be 0.15 profits dollars times 10. So you get $1.5 in that day when you are trading with $100. So even if you are getting $1.5 in a day times 31 days, you get $46 of $100, which is more than, which is 46% in a month. So it's encouraging. Even some days, if you make, if it's only 5 signal you enter, 0.15 times 5, you make 0.75. It's still fair. 0.75 times 31 days, you make $23. It's still fair that you are making 23% in a month on your $100 capital, which is safe and secure in your exchange. Okay? So the next thing here is the whole position take profit callback. For me, I reduce by half. The default is 0.3%. The buy-in callback is 0.5. I go 0.25. This sub position take profit callback 0.3. I go 0.15. So we have explained what callback is, whether be it take profit callback or buy-in callback. Callback is a function that helps the robot to either make more profit for us or buy at a better price. That is the function. Take profit callback helps the robot to make more profit for us when there is a massive pump. So if there is a massive pump, the robot will not make this 1% for me. It will make more than 1% for me because of the callback. Okay, so the buy-in callback means the robot will make sure that it buys my margin call at a better rate. Even when the coins is falling, it will make sure that it buys at a better reduced price. That is the function of the buy-in callback. So same for sub position take profit callback, the same thing as callback. It helps us to make more profit if there is a massive pump in the trade. Okay. So the next thing is, okay, I skipped margin configuration. So we'll come back. So we'll come back to that. The next one is the strategy periods. Period, as we all know in school, means time, timing. It means how many times do you want the robot to trade this coin? So it's either it's one shot or it's cycle. One shot means robots trade this Bitcoin for me. Once you buy and you make profit, stop. I will look for another trade by myself and enter. One cycle means robots, this Bitcoin continue buying and selling, buy, sell, buy, sell. That is cycle. Don't stop. Continue. So that is the meaning of the strategy period. Okay? So it's one shot or cycle. Okay? So we'll enter margin configuration. Okay, so remember these are settings for $100. Remember the remarks. We said we are coming back to remarks because we have not put the total margin coverage it will take. So we'll enter margin configuration. Okay, so we have done this topic, this margin configuration, like 5 good times. We have explained it on the Zoom. Leader Oshari, please confirm the number of participants in this Zoom, please. Leader Oshari.
26.
20.
26.
26. Okay, we have done this margin configuration explaining so many times. We have even split this margin configuration, this page, into 2. We have done a Zoom on margin call drop, and we have also done a Zoom on multiple buy-in ratio. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. This is this margin configuration is the engine room of RoyalQ spot trading, because RoyalQ is all about trading the spot market, buying the trade at a cheaper price. So this is where the settings the robot will use to buy those coins at a cheaper price. So you can see we have the first core, second core, third core, fourth core, fifth core, sixth core, seventh core, eighth core. Eighth core, because of our margin call limit, is 8. So now let's focus on the right-hand side, which is the multiple buy-in ratio. The multiple buy-in ratio is talking about money, 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 money. The multiple buy-in ratio is talking about money. How many times your first buy amount do you want the robot to use to buy the margin calls? How many of your first buy, remember your first buy amount is $15. So the multiple buy-in ratio is telling the robot, use, like for example, this two now, this first call says 2 times. It means it's telling the robot that if this coin drops to my first call, if this coin I'm traded, I've started with $15 to trade. If it goes up, give me 1% profit and stop the trade. But if the coins did not go up and the value of that coin starts reducing, if it reduced by 3.5%, if this coin that enter reduce by 3.5% in value, please use 2 times my first buy amount to buy more quantity. So that is the explanation of this page. But now we are going to edit this. This is the default page of RoyalQ. We are going to edit it because we don't have much capital. Remember, we are using 85 to set up this page, $85. And we concluded that we are using $10.5 to buy each margin calls. So for us to, what are we going to put here now? That if you times it with the $15, which is our first buy amount, we will get $10.5. What are we going to put here in the multiple buy-in ratio for first call, for the margin 1, your first margin? What are you going to put here that when you times it by your first buy amount, which is $15, we will get $10.5? Because the robot will do this calculation. Anything you put here, the robot will do it times 15, which is your first buy amount. Anything the robot gets, that is the money the robot will use to swap to buy the first margin calls. So I don't know if anybody is with calculator. So it's very simple. What we do is, that's 10.5 we want to get. That money you want your robot to use to buy each of the margin, which is, for this example now, it's 10.5. We will do 10.5 divided by our first buy amount, which is $15. You get it? We have agreed that we want the robot to use 10.5, 10.5, 10.5 to be buying each of the margin calls. So now we are going to do $10.5 divided by our first buy amount, which is $15. That is how you will use to get the multiple buy-in ratio. Okay, so if you do it, we'll get 0.7. So because of we said we are going to use $10.5 to buy each of the margin, we are going to set it 0.7 all through the 8 margin call. Okay, so we have set it 0.7. So what the robot will do now, when he wants to buy our first margin call, it will do 0.7 times our first buy amount, which is $15. So it will get 10.5. The robot will now use 10.5 USDT from your Binance, that's 85. It will use $10.5 out of that 85 to buy your first margin. Okay, so now we have arranged the times, how our robot will use our $85. We have given it the commands. So now we'll now come to the left-hand side, which is the margin call drop. So the margin call drop is, at what point do you want the robot to buy your margin calls? Coins, once you start a coin, is either it goes up or it comes down. The robot records the downward movement in percentage. I think in Forex, it records the movement in pi. How did they use one PIP, share? One, I don't know. I know. But in RoyalQ, the robot records the movement in percentage. So if the coin starts dropping, it drops in percentage. That is, you see it as, if it's dropping down, you see it as floating loss. If it's increasing up, you see it as floating profit. Okay? So the first buy, you are free to set here 50. You are free to set here 1. You are free to set here 0.5. It depends on your how many margin calls you are setting. So for the purpose of this, okay, let me explain. You are free to set it 0.5. You are free to set it 1%. You are free to set it 1.5. You are free to set it 3%. This is the movement. You're telling the robot that if this coin, once you start this trade, if this coin reduced by 0.5, buy my first margin. So remember, if you set everything 0.5, 0.5 times 8, because it's 8 margin calls you have, 0.5 times 8, you can only cover 4% drop. That is the total. So once your robot starts the trade and the trade reduce and gets to 4, your robot will buy all your 8 margins complete. If that coins continue going down, your robot will be idle. That is where you will start hearing people saying, my robot is not making profit for me again. So if you set a small range, your robot will buy your margin faster. So it's not advisable to set a smaller range when your margin calls is small. So for the purpose of this Zoom, you can decide that, okay, I want to cover, let's say I want to cover, if you say you want to cover 20%, you do 20% divided by 8, because your margin call is 8, you'll be getting 2.5. So let's say we covered 20% with these 8 margins. So what this stuff means is that, let me summarize now because I'm done with the explanation. It means that once the robot starts the trade with $15, which is my first buy out of my $100 capital, if this coin now starts, it did not go up. If it starts coming down by 2%, 2.5%, the robot will trigger a buy. I'm coming, sorry. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, I'm coming now. I hope you can see my screen.
Very well, sir.
Okay, so so the summary is that if this coin starts reducing in value, if it reduces by 2.5%, the robot will buy the first margin. That means the robot will do 0.7 times 15, which is 10.5. The robot will use 10.5 to buy your margin, $10.5 to buy the first margin. If this coin, after it has bought the first margin, if this coin reduce by another 2.5% again, the robot will go and use 0.7 times $15, which is 10.5. It will use it to buy your second margin. If this coin reduce again by another 2.5, the robot will still use 0.7 times $15, which is 10.5. It will use $10.5 to buy the third margin. It means that this coin must have dropped by 7.5% total now. So you see, that is how the robot will buy until it gets to the 8. And it will not tell you when it has bought all your 8 margin. It will tell you that maximum margin bought. So it will stop buying. So if the coins, this your settings now cover 20. So we'll click on show. So we'll come back to the remark and say covers 20% dip. So these trade settings will continue working as far the floating loss is within 20%. So once your coins that your robot is trading goes below 20%, your robot stops. Your robot will just be observing the market. It will not buy, it will not sell until the coins now come up again. If it now comes up, it will now start selling margin 8. It will sell the first margin 8. Okay, let me save. I'm able to, so look at it here now. I've saved the trade settings. 100, you can see it here, 100 trade capital covers 20% dip. Okay, now let's go to the trades. Okay, you have your trade settings now. And I've also explained how to pick a setting, pick a trade, how to pick a trade. I don't know if you have any trade for us that we can use to enter. So I've explained how to pick a trade. Some people will still come to my DM to say, please, which trade will I enter? But we have done Zoom on how you can click here, look at the chart, and know whether you will enter or not. Okay, so this is in 4 hours time frame. The candle is on the lower Bollinger Band, and it has been down for long. The KDJ, this down one, the purple line is about to cross both. It's also on the down Bollinger Band. So let's go to 15 minutes and see what is happening. In 15 minutes, it's talking another thing that's hit the lower band and it has gone up and touched the upper band. So 15 minutes, it's not meeting what our target. It's not meeting our target for 15 minutes. Okay, so this is how you check the coins. Please try to be checking fundamental coins. Coins you know that are known. coins you know that they are known. These are the coins you should check. So this one has not touched the lower Bollinger Band. So let me see. So I love going to this part of the trades, those that are in negative. So I will see the ones that is recovering. Okay, this one is off. So this is how you check it to see the one. I don't know if you have any coin for us for this zone. So this is how we'll be checking it to see if there's any of the trade that is in the lower bullion, that the candle is on the lower Bollinger line. Okay. This one is just coming. This one is still coming. It has not started going up. So please be sure that the trade you are entering have started going up and not the one that is still pointing down. Because if you enter that kind of trade, it will just start reducing in value and your money will start reducing. So, okay. Idoshawe, are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
I'm checking, but you know that the market has been a little bit weird. So I've not seen anyone yet.
Is Peter on this coin, on this Zoom?
Peter
Yes.
is even a co-host. Peter, are you checking for us too?
Yes, I'm doing so.
Okay.
Is Tom on this Zoom?
I did see him earlier.
What
I don't
about
know if he's still here
what
though.
about
But
is Obio on this Zoom?
no, Obio is not here. Famous is not here.
He didn't
Because
come
I
at
know
all.
that
Like, the market pumped today. Okay, it's last week pump. All these
market is
coins
not
are just
smiling. No. Market is not smiling. Market
market is there. All of them are just
is very
pointing down.
confused.
All of them are just pointing down. If you go and enter now, you just see -5%. You just see -5%. So, like I said, you checking the chart and relaxing is also part of trading. You checking the chart and relaxing is also part. You just say, okay, let me just wait. Let me wait for the signals so because I don't want to wait long and have longer floating loss that will delay me. So when I see,
I think I've
Leader
seen one.
Santos. I don't know
okay,
if you
which
can
Yeah,
use
Santos.
Santos, yeah.
Santos,
EX.
this okay,
Santos is looking good.
okay. So it has crossed. It has crossed. So let's confirm from 1 hour. Okay, let's confirm from 4 hours. Okay. So once you have confirmed, you click on the Martingale strategy both. You click on create. So what you are going to do next is click on trade settings immediately. Click on the manually create at the top. Click on this my template, choose a strategy settings, this place, click on it. It will not take you to your my strategy settings. So you see the setting you have saved. So this one now is what we are saved for $100. You click on anywhere on it. It will now take note. Let's go back. Take note of this first buy-in amount. Take note of the first buy-in amount. So once you click on it, anywhere on the settings, click on anywhere on the settings, you find out that everything has been called for you. If you go to your margin calls, you see everything we set is here. The only thing that did not come from that your setting is this first buy-in amount. The first buy-in amount. You can see our first buy-in amount that we saved in that setting is 15. So that is the only thing you will set on these trade settings. Then you will now save and you start. You save it. So once you save it, you start the trade. You start the trade. Now, RoyalQ is designed to make profit for you in the uptrend and in the downtrend. That downtrend depends on your strategy mood. The trade have started, but there's something we did not do. There's something we have not done. You understand? So we'll go back to the trade. This is the trade we have started. You can see that the strategy mode is on hold position mode. With this mode, RoyalQ cannot make profits for you in the downtrend. This hold position mode means that even if you buy my margin calls, sell everything at once. It means that the robot will only make profits, will only show you the profits that it has made when it has sold the profit all at once. But no, RoyalQ is being designed that while you wait, while you encounter floating loss, because floating loss and floating profit is part of RoyalQ. So when you encounter floating loss is when this unrealized P or L is on negative. Like this now is on floating loss. So it's part of RoyalQ. So it means that RoyalQ is designed that even when you are in floating loss, you should be making what we call the sub profits. So for you to make sub profits, your margin call limit, we set for this example, we set is eight margin call limit. It's 8. So as long as your margin call limit is more than 4, from 5, 6, and above, you are supposed to change this whole position, this whole warehouse here. You're supposed to click on it and change it to sub-moderate time settlement. Then you click on show. You understand? That is what you are supposed to set. Sub-moderate time settlement. Sub-moderate time settlement. It means that even if this coin is going down, and our robot is buying our margin call, margin 1, margin 2, margin 3, margin 4. Once it buys margin 5 and there's a movement upwards, it will sell that margin 5 and give you the sub profits. Once it goes down again and buys margin 5 again and goes up again, it will sell margin 5 and gives you profits. Okay, there's another thing we did not set. Let's click on the trade. You can enter trade settings even if the trade is ongoing, you can always click on trade settings. We did not set the distributed and take profit allocation. Distributed and take profit allocation. So I will advise you is just like setting the take profits for those your margin 5, 6, and above. So remember, I said RoyalQ is designed to make profit for you downtrend and in uptrend. Downtrend means when you are encountering floating loss. RoyalQ is made to make profit for you. So for me, I advise you go with 1%. 1% profit. So if he buys from your margin call, your fifth call, sixth call, seventh call, eighth call, and there is any increment by 1%, the robot will be making profit for you. It will be making, remember, before it will buy this your 8 margin calls, that floating loss must have reached minus 20% because this settings covers minus 20%. So when the coins now start increasing, if it increase from minus 20, it goes to minus 19, the robot will say this your 8 margin call gives you the profit. If it reduce again to minus 20, it will buy this 8 margin calls back, the 8 margin. If it increase by 1%, it will sell. So that is how you'll be making sub profit, sub profit, sub profit, sub profit, sub profit. So profit can give you more than $100. It can give you $5. It can give you $2, depending on your capital, depending on how many trades you are in. Now, it's not that you, okay, let me save this one because the trade is ongoing. So you save. So this is how to start a trade. I don't know if there's any, and please, your switch on margin call, look at this switch on margin call, this one, it must always be on. If you come like this robot will not sell for you. You will not make profit if it's off. So you have to on it. So the switch on margin calls, if this unrealized loss, profit loss, if it gets to minus 2.5, right? That is our first call drop. Our first call drop is 2.5. So if it drops by minus 2.5, this is the price the coin will go to. The callback margin trigger price is 2.544. So if this current price goes to 2.544, it means that this place will be minus 2.5. The robot will buy our first margin. This up place that you see 0 will turn to 1. If it reduces by another 2.5, it will buy the second margin. This up place will turn to 2. If it goes down again by another 2.5, so you are saying the robot is giving you real-time updates. If you open here, you see how many margin calls your robot has bought for you. If you open here, you see if your margin calls is still intact. When you go up here, you see it's still intact. It's waiting for this current price to reduce either to 2.544 so that your robot will buy your margin 1, or it's waiting for this current price to increase to 2.635 for it to sell this first buy-in amount, which is this $15. So it will be giving you 1% on $15. But if this coin reduce and buy our first margin, you see that it will be 15 plus 10.5. Our first margin is $10.5 plus 15. So what will now be here will be 25.5. If the coins did not go down again for the robot to buy more margin calls, it will now sell both the first buy and the first margin call, which is the total is 25.5. It will sell them and give you 1% profit on 25.5. So that is how the robot works. So thank you. Let's see, this trade is good though. I think I will add more money to it. Okay, so that should be all. We can take questions now.
Thank you so much, Dr. George, for this amazing lectures. I would just unmute so that I'll activate the unmute button so that we can unmute ourselves and ask our questions. You can also use the chat box. and drop your question. Please, do we have any questions so that we take questions and round up, please? Because it's already getting late. Please, let's ask our questions quickly. You don't need to wait until when the Zoom is about to end before you ask your question, please. Please use the chat box or unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you. I believe we can all hear me.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So, my question is, if you drop a signal in the group and then you put the setting in it and you say one shot, does it mean that that actual signal will buy just one and sell at once when it reaches the take profit ratio? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay. Once a signal is one shot, I explain the strategy period. Strategy period means the teacher comes to your class. After teaching, the teacher leaves your class. You enter the trade. After the robot sells the trade, it stopped trading. It stopped trading that coin for you. I don't know if that answers your question. The one shot means the robot will only trade that coin once. Once it sells the first buy amount,
Okay, so
it will stop trading.
there's no need for setting a margin cost on a one shot trade, right?
Yeah, no, margin calls has nothing to do with the strategy periods. I said margin calls is the fundamental of using RoyalQ. Whether depending on on any of the periods you are using, margin cost should be constant.
Okay. Okay, so even though
Because
it's
cryptocurrency is constant.
okay. No, the reason why I was asking is that at times I see some signals on the group, so we have to always add the margin cost to the signals, like apply.
Yes, yes, you must. You see that I save when I started, I saved my capital setting. It has nothing to do with any signal. It's my capital. It's my capital. I saved it for my capital. Tomorrow I can decide to add my capital from 100 to 150. I will still go back and edit that $100 and make it for $150. Any signal I want to see, I want to enter, I just call that settings for it.
Okay. Now I
So if the
understand.
signal is one shot, I put it one shot. If the signal is cycle, I put it on cycle. But my margin pause is related to my capital, not the signal.
Okay.
Okay?
For the
So do
answer.
you have another question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, someone said, can I save more than one signal? You can more than one trade settings. Yes, you can save more. Thank you. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah. My question is for the trade settings, is it constant? Like now, I'm trading with $100. Trade setting
Okay.
just showed up now. Is it constant? Like if I want to enter any trade signal, the setting is already there. Or before I enter any trade, I have to go and do this setting before I enter any trade, or is it constant? Is it there already for me? That's my question. Or should I
Okay.
every time I want?
The settings. Huh?
I don't know whether I get my question.
I get your question. We call it saved settings. Saved.
Oh,
So it means that you, even if you want to enter 100 signals in a day, the settings is saved. You just click on that my template. You will now see all your settings, all the saved settings. So you select which one you want to use for that signal.
all right. And if I should increase my capital to maybe $200 or 300 or 400, I should use the,
Okay.
there are some, there are some certain ways to, you set the
You can
trade,
go
like,
back and edit it. If you want to edit, you can go back and create new one. You can see I have more than 10 saved trades, more than
okay,
10 save trade settings. I have settings for 200 capital. I have settings for 500 capital. I have settings for 1000 capital. I have settings saved for 2000 capital. So you can have different settings saved.
thank you so much. That's the
So is that remark that will help you when you want to select the saved settings.
oh, yes, true. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Shaibu, I believe your question you are writing on the chat, that is what someone have answered. And I've explained how to locate the second strategy. When you want to start a trade, and you click on that my template, you will see all your saved settings. So you can select from anyone. Thank you. So do we have any other question? You're welcome. Do you have any other question? This is almost after 10. Sorry that we started late because of traffic. Do you have any other signal? Do
All
you have
right,
any other
do you
question?
have any other question before we round up? Please, you have chance to ask a question. You can ask any question, please. Because people like DMs more than Zoom. Okay, so I believe we do not have any other question. Our Zoom days and time is 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, Monday and Thursday. That's our Zoom day. That's when we are always available on Zoom. If you have any question, you can still drop it on your chat box. Because I don't know, as soon as we finish this Zoom, our DMs are always full with questions. I don't know why that is, to be honest. If you don't want to,
Leader Oshari,
yes.
if famous disturb us with question that has been answered, I will
Is
remove
it
him on
that
the
is it
I
that I
will
still
remove
answering?
him. I know why I said what I said.
Is
Let
it that I
nobody
still
come and
answering
question.
famous? Do you see me answer famous again? Do you see me
But by
answer?
the time
Is it that I
you
don't
read it,
answering
you'll
him?
be listening to him, you'll be saying another thing on the group.
I feel like he does it on purpose. I think it's on purpose anyway. He's probably bored. All right, time is Mondays and Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. We're always here. Try as much as possible to get this knowledge. You need this knowledge because one starts now. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen what's going on in the group. A lot of, not now, because the market is very young now. Signals drops like a lot. You can get more than, in the bull season, you can get more than 10 signal at a time. And if you are, trust me, you are going to be left behind. Because if signal is dropping and every other person is trying to hustle and enter a signal and back their money, likely have closed in profits. That's just the truth. Even now, before this, the market just went down recently. In fact, funny enough, I think we dropped a signal yesterday that didn't take 4 minutes. Yeah, on the group. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. It didn't take, I don't think it took, what's 4 minutes? I don't think it took 3 minutes to actually deliver. So if you don't know what you are supposed to do, you'll be missing those, and that's money. You'll be missing those money. So you need to get the knowledge. Our YouTube, we have a lot of it. We've done another one now, explaining the basics of what RoyalQ is. But even on there are so many subjects. Even if you are just starting RoyalQ, even if you are just activating your robot, or you are just coming on board, you just join the community. We recorded those our recordings. You can access it. It's uploaded for the people that are in the community, both the old members or the new members. It's there for you. You can watch it, and then when you watch it, you don't understand some things there, you can ask questions. But a lot of us don't watch it, then come and ask questions. You cannot skip now. You are trying to skip terms and conditions. You watch it first, and when you don't understand, you ask questions. It makes it easy. You can't expect us to come here, giving you our time. Then you enter our DM. We should not be doing one-on-one class. How many people do we want to do one-on-one class? See, the judge finished from his work. He was caught in traffic, but he still attended today's Zoom. But a lot of us like to give excuses. It's not nice. Can't be doing one-on-one class. The judge has, I believe that the judge have at least over 400 people under his team. How many people does he want to attend to one-on-one? So please, let's try as much as possible to attend meeting. And if you miss it for anything, just watch the recordings. The recordings is always up by at least the next day. You get it. You don't even need, sometimes you don't need to wait for the link. You don't need to wait for the link to be posted. You can check on the YouTube, it might have been posted. All right, so if you are here, you do not have an activated robot, please get back to the person that invited you to this Zoom. They will assist you and guide you on how to activate your robot, and also add it to our WhatsApp group where you gain the knowledge to start trading. RoyalQ is the best business out there for now. I'm going to say for now, because you never can say, never can tell, but it is the best business. We have tried other business. It ended in tears. But you need to be serious. You need to be serious with this to actually make money. You can't be nonchalant and be expecting profit. It's not possible. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It needs your attention. And what does it need your attention? Get the knowledge, get the right knowledge. That's all. It's not that difficult. All right, so we'll see you on, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Good night. Thank you so much, Leader Judge. And also Peter, thank you so much. For every member that is here, for every person that is available today, thank you for coming out to listen to us. Good night, everybody. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.
Thank you, Shane. Bye, everyone.
Sammy, do give away now. Sammy.